Not quite so elegant, but now we turn from the sublime to the sinister and the emergence of a new architectural blot on the landscape. In these days of terrorist alerts and security measures, our cities have been sprouting a distinctly unyielding type of pimple. Tom Dyckhoff went to find out more.
Bollards. Silent. Inscrutable. And is it just me, or are there a lot more of them about these days? This is the edge of the Ring of Steel, the protective security cordon that throws its arms around the City of London. 6.5 miles of subtle obstructions like gates and bollards and CCTV cameras and chicanes. The Ring of Steel was introduced in the early 1990s, when provisional IRA bombs sought to tear at the heart of the city. In its early form, it consisted of traffic cones and policemen, leading some to dub it the Ring of Plastic. Low-tech perhaps, but very, very visible. Over the past 17 years, this ring has evolved to the point where it is now almost invisible. Walk through it, and you'd hardly know it's there. Last year, the photographer Henrietta Williams and cartographer George Gingell began a project to map it and show how the city has been changed to make it easier to police.
So what are the key features of the Ring of Steel?
Well, the point is, they needed to be able to check all the traffic coming in, and so you close down the sort of 50 odd roads into the city, and you have a few which just become one-ways out, and then you've got 19 entry points, and it's very easy to control it.
We've got like streets being blocked and then buildings being placed over where there would have been throughways. We've got bollards, we've got flower planting and trees being planted.
Basically, as you go down Bishopsgate, all the streets on this side will either be blocked or will have cameras on them.
Have you seen how it changes behaviour of people and flow of people and so on?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think what happens is that you're only welcome within these spaces if you're going to kind of engage with them commercially. So either you work in the building or you're going to go and spend money in that shopping mall. It's not really for people to linger in. There are benches, but they're actually designed as ways of blocking roads.
What Williams and Gingell discovered was that 2/3 of all the streets that used to lead into the city have now been closed to traffic. New buildings along the perimeter are large and blocky, forming an unbroken wall. And the sandwich spots for city workers provide what security professionals called standoff, the all-important buffer zone between cars and buildings. But all this looks positively dainty when you compare it to what's happening further west in Grosvenor Square.
The US Embassy was built in more optimistic, open times, but it's been beefed up in recent years to become the very epitome of extreme fortress urbanism. This street used to be open to traffic, but it's been closed off to stop car bombs, and these super huge bollards put in, and a foot of reinforced concrete dressed up, disguised as a planter.
In 2017, the US Embassy is moving to Battersea in South London. Not exactly central, but a new site means security measures can be designed in. It was chosen specifically because it is defensible. They're even adding a moat. This is the future of counter-terrorism in architecture. Instead of retrofitting ugly concrete blocks, you have a gently rolling hillock that just happens to be able to stop a truck. British architects are now being asked to consider security at the design stage, and to help them, the government and the RIBA are offering advice.
So is counter-terrorism, is it a kind of a growth area for architects? Is it an opportunity?
It seems an awful thing to say it's an opportunity. It's become a necessity. We're definitely being asked through the planning system and by clients with interests to take it into consideration.
Is it very hard for an architect to marry aesthetics and the demand for almost a kind of militarisation of urban space? It must be they're two kind of very opposite things.
When you think what you're looking for, you're trying to stop vehicles getting close to buildings. Now, you don't have to do that in a wall of steel. You don't have to put up palisades. You can do it through landscaping. You can do it through hard landscaping, bollards and other things. You don't have to act as if you're making a fortress of everywhere.
I'm quite interested in this this aesthetic balance. I mean, presumably it's important to you for security measures to be as unnoticeable as possible? Or
discreet, I think.
Right.
Yes. So that there's a feeling of security. I mean, when I go down to Whitehall and I see the bollards, I don't mind that they're there. I understand that they're there. What I don't want to see is something nasty and temporary and plastic or whatever.
And Whitehall is just one of many recent innovative schemes. Those balustrades may look heritage, but beneath the Portland stone is a unique steel sandwich material developed by security experts. At Emirates Stadium, home of Arsenal Football Club, the huge letters are also vehicle-proof. And the Tower of London Plaza is defended by slabs which also provide seating for weary tourists. Companies that used to just concern themselves with making street furniture pretty now have to make sure it can withstand this.
What we don't want to do is perpetuate this climate of fear. So we want people to be safe without being worried. We should design the public realm as we've always designed it, but using newer materials that keep people safe. The thing is, the seating like this can be converted to be anti-terrorist vehicle-borne impact proof without changing the look of the furniture itself.
In fact, once you start looking, you can see counter-terrorism design everywhere. Take Broadcasting House, which recently acquired a whole legion of bollards and some planters that look a little over-designed for just guarding hardy perennials. That's the thing about fortress urbanism. What was once exceptional is slowly becoming ubiquitous.
But that's not to say it can't be beautiful. My hope is that British architects, urban designers and security engineers will keep coming up with more and more elegant velvet gloves to cover their iron fists.